Spot on.
All right. Just make sure it's recording. All right. Whew. It's almost worse when I'm just recording and not live streaming. I get more nervous.
You sort of, I noticed that. Like, I sort of do that too when, like, I'm not on stream. Is just natural, you know. Like, you know, you're live. You know, you're going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody, EShot Nation, to episode number 6. Can you guys believe it? I can't. We're on 6 now. We're getting there.
Ooh.
Slowly but surely, but we are staying committed to the grind and making episodes for you guys. Did a couple live episodes, and now we're just doing a recorded one. Let's got just a couple things to talk about today. But first, we're going to just kind of talk about ourselves and give you guys a little bit more personality to who you're listening to. Keo, do you want to start with about your weekend and what's going on with you?
Yeah, I mean, I had quite a boring weekend. I worked Saturday. I only worked about half a day. I was not feeling well at all. So I ended up going home.
Nice.
And just sort of chilling out, laying low, watch some TV. And then I just played a little bit of Blackout until I could go to bed, crash. Sunday, though, was feeling up to the task, got on, grinded GBs most of the day.
Nice.
Not the most successful day of GBs.
Ooh.
I personally thought I played well. We didn't get a lot of W's, though. So usually when I play well, other people aren't playing well, and that just corresponds with us not winning, which actually is something I want to segment on. I'm thinking about doing, and I've talked to you, Nate, a little bit about this, but a new series, a new sort of uploaded gameplay video every week. We've been dabbling with the idea of just putting up some of our GB matches, exciting ones, that kind of stuff. If you guys have any ideas what you guys want to see, link it in the bottom of link, or put it in the comments below.
Post in the comments for sure.
Yeah, please, because that will help us know what you guys would like to see more of. But I think in the next couple of weeks, I'm definitely trying to sort of hone in on what series I sort of want to start for this channel and what direction I want to take it. So anything will help below. But yeah, other than that, that was my weekend. Back into the work grind, Monday through Friday this week. Which
that's
it's
like actual Monday through Friday.
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Man.
It's like 11 to 7 every day. I mean, it's like an actual full-time job. I'm growing up a little bit, you know. Yeah. So I won't get it that many hours. I gotta wake up early, sort of go to bed, medium-ish, so I get that balance of enough sleep and enough playing.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. I love the games I'm playing right now. Red Dead releases at the end of the week.
Yep.
Which is sort of why I'm thankful for working every day this week, so I don't have to think about it too much until every time I go in the back room, I see that beautiful Red Dead box. Like, don't get into that. Anyways, I'm just stoked for that game coming out.
Yeah.
Other notes. Lastly, I guess I'd have to sum it up with, finally, I've been waiting for this forever. Dark Souls has released onto the Switch.
Ooh.
I've yet to buy it because Red Dead's coming out and COD's out, so I can't invest in it now. But with Dark Souls coming out, that means I can dive into Dark Souls on my Switch, and then I can get Bloodborne on my PlayStation and play it right afterwards. That'll probably be my post-Christmas games. I usually just tear through a game post-Christmas. Last year was Zelda. This year it's probably going to be Dark Souls, and then hopefully I'm not too pissed off about my whole Dark Souls things. I rage really easily at games like that, so then I can transition into Bloodborne, and that should be super exciting. That's my update for the week. Nate, what about you? What did you do this weekend?
I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, realistically, kind of the same thing. Had the whole work grind on Monday through Thursday, and then Friday we did a lot of streaming. We hit our goal. We hit 25 followers on Twitch. So I'm gonna plug myself here. Go ahead and follow the channel. We are growing slowly but surely, just like this podcast. We're getting there. Time, just gotta stay consistent, and good things will come. It's basically how my Saturday and Sunday went too.
Well, let's talk about your giveaway really quick, because you did do a giveaway.
Yeah, we did do a giveaway. Once we hit 25 followers, we had about 15 people in the chat. Did a giveaway. Surprisingly, actually, a random person I don't know won the giveaway, considering we had about 7 or 8 people I did know in the chat. Originally, it was going to be a tub of G Fuel or case of Red Bull or whatever the person wanted. However, this person was not in the country, so we did a Amazon gift card instead. So, which, I mean, it worked out. Everything was good. Like I said, we hit the 25 followers, but I mean, really, that was kind of my weekend too. Just a lot of streaming. redid my whole setup. Everything is different now.
Are we gonna get a setup video? By chance?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know if that's something people want. I mean, but so that took up, you know, all the morning Sunday. I mean, Sunday just cleaning and just all the same equipment, but just the setup is so more functional and just makes me feel like I have, you know, for the apartment we have, I have my own little small kind of office corner now, and allows me to do the things that, you know, I want to do and that I'm passionate about. And definitely this podcast and streaming recently has really become a big passion of mine and something I've truly enjoyed. So
yeah, you've invested a lot of time lately into streaming, and it's been paying off. Like you saw, you hit that 25.
Yeah.
Now we're looking for 100. Once you hit 100, you do another giveaway. Yeah. So definitely follow the link. Follow. Watch his video. You have to be there. You have to be there when the giveaway goes out.
That is true. If we can get 100 followers, we'll do like a scuff giveaway. Something kind of big.
Whoa.
Something kind of big for 100. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, it's kind of my weekend, just streaming, just you know, just having fun with games. Lots of Call of Duty, and you know, let's transition now. League of Legends. What do you? I mean, we got to bring up the Worlds from this weekend.
I'm just gonna go back a little bit, touch on my weekend, just because it sort of transitions nicely. I was motivated after watching some of these games to actually go play League of Legends, which is something that I haven't done in a long time. I mean, I did just go play some ARAMs, so like half League of Legends, half just messing around with friends. But it's been so long since I've been like feeling like I wanted to play League, and that's what these series did for me. I didn't watch every series, but the ones that I did, it was like it sparked something in me to go play League again. And I won't be surprised if I end up getting on maybe once or twice a week to play a game, just because it's something that's passionate to me again, like something that playing is something I want to do, not just watching. I want to play now, which when you watch a series and it does that, like in any regard,
game,
sports,
anything,
like you watch football, it makes you want to go play. Like that's how it should be.
Yep.
So that was a great feeling to get again. But yeah, to touch on the Worlds, we had 2 days of insane games.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with the first game, which was Invictus Gaming versus KT Rolster, 5-game series, went all the way. This is one that I watched the first 2 games of, with Invictus Gaming just dominating the first 2 games. I was utterly surprised about how dominant they looked. They ended up winning the first 2, losing the second 2, the game 3 and game 4, and then coming back to win game 5. Now, I turned the series off at game 2, assuming it was going to be a 3-0, a 3-1. It wasn't going to be that good, but it went all the way. It went 5 games. Invictus showed that they can stand up with KT Rolster. They are the first team in the semifinals this year. It was a very good series.
Where is Invictus? What region are they in?
I believe they placed second to Royal Never Give Up in China by 1 game. I think it was a game 5 they went to, and they lost to Royal Never Give Up, I believe.
Okay, so still like the Asian region then.
Oh yeah. They are definitely a very high tier team, which at this point, I don't want to give spoilers for if you haven't seen who gone through, but they're probably like the best team in the tournament, debatably, depending on who you want to put up there with them.
Gotcha.
But that was a very good series, very good game. I still need to go back and watch game 5 at least, because I think it would just be insane. Moving on to the next game of the series later that night, we had Royal Never Give Up.
Yep.
The favorites for the tournament versus G2 Esports from EU. So this is another China versus EU matchup. Now, if I recall correctly, because I did not follow EU very closely in the summer split, G2 was off to a very rocky year. They just didn't seem to have all the pieces in line that they needed. They didn't mesh as well as previous splits, but they ended up turning things around and making it to Worlds. A surprising showing in Worlds led them out of group stage, and now where they are in quarterfinals, playing against probably the best team in
the favorite at that point.
Oh yeah, definitely the favorite. And believe it or not, in 5 games, they took the series. Unbelievable. This one was a little different, with RNG winning game 1, G2 winning game 2, RNG winning game 3, G2 winning game 4, and as you know now, G2 took game 5. Wow. I did not watch any of this series, but this is definitely one that I'm going to go back and watch. I'll probably actually start tonight, just because I want to see how G2 dismantled RNG. I'm not saying that they just completely annihilated them, but I want to see how they broke them down, how they got their wins. Was it RNG's fault? Was it G2's fault? I'm excited to see. I unfortunately didn't get to watch any of the highlights on these either. Like I said, I was sick most of the day, so I should have took my time to like watch that kind of stuff, pay attention. But actually, I think this was the day I came home sick. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways,
yeah, I mean,
moving on.
To be fair, I could have done the same thing and didn't. So I get it. I'm in the same boat as you. So continuing to move up though now.
Yeah, that does lead us for our first semifinals being Invictus Gaming, the last sort of Eastern Hemisphere team, versus G2. Which should be a very interesting matchup. Both their games went to Game 5. I'm excited to see this. I think it's one of the later ones. Yeah, it's a 1:00 start for them.
Like 1:00 our time?
Yeah, 1:00 our time
nice.
on the 27th. So 1 a.m. is not terrible, but it's not.
Oh, it's 1 a.m.
Oh yeah, of course. Everything's gonna be AM. Okay. Even the finals is like 4, or it's like a 1 a.m. matchup. So it's not terrible, but not great, especially for a 5-game series.
Yeah, that's a rough one to stay up for.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on to the other side of the bracket, though.
Yeah.
This is where things get really interesting. So, Fnatic played EDG. EDG was one of the play-in teams. They didn't do as well as they probably should have in China this year, so they had to go through the play-ins. They went through it, which I believe G2 went through the play-ins as well. So it's really impressive to see 2 play-in teams make it all the way through. Though, debatably, they're the strongest play-in teams. Though, actually, 3 play-in teams went through. I will touch on that one in a minute. Fnatic did win this series, though. 3-1. This is one that came on after the C9 series,
right?
So it was relatively late. I was exhausted, so I just passed out. I did not watch any of this series. With the 3-1, EDG did take game 1, which actually I had that turned on, so I did catch a little bit of it, and it did look like EDG was, I don't want to say the better team, but it looked like they definitely had game 1 under their belt. It was game 2, game 3, and game 4 that I did not see, and I'm sure Fnatic probably didn't dismantle them completely, but probably did just enough to show that they were the better team, which they've been on fire since this tournament started.
Yeah,
they are
Fnatic's been legit for sure. Very
arguably
good.
the best team right now.
Yeah.
Especially with War Never Give Up being eliminated.
Yeah, with the other 2 teams that you just mentioned being eliminated, like I think Fnatic almost jumps to the favorite now.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Invictus has definitely showed that, they are good,
though,
but don't know. So that was a very interesting one in and of itself. But the real talk, how could you not, is the Cloud9 of Freak of Freaks game.
Yeah.
That was the first game of the night, which I did stay up watch the entire series, because how could you not? Cloud9 is NA's only hope this year. No NA teams ever made it to the semifinals. The Korean teams always made it to the semifinals.
I didn't know that.
So much riding on the line here, yeah. Well, let me just tell you, these were some of the most phenomenal games I've ever watched. Not necessarily from like the gameplay standard, though they were all good. Just from the fans' point of view, I was so excited to watch these games, so into them. Yeah. It was unreal. Going over them really quickly, game 1 was a Cloud9 victory. Utterly stomped them. They walked over a Freak of Freaks. I don't know what a Freak of Freaks was doing, if they had some kind of niche pick in there, but they ended up picking a Victor early on in the draft, which they flexed to top lane and then put a Kassadin in mid lane, which was overall not a good decision for him, because the Kassadin lined up against a LeBlanc, which Jensen's LeBlanc, not something you want to mess with. He's pretty filthy on that champion.
Yeah, pretty good with that.
Yeah. So he ended up sort of taking over mid lane, got a solo kill at one point, which was pretty impressive. And it really just led C9 to having the motivation to just push that series on. Game 2, I definitely thought we would see a shift, which we did.
Yeah.
A Freak of Freaks took it to C9 almost the entire first 10-15 minutes of the game. I do need to mention that C9 was on blue side all 3 games, I believe.
Oh, how did they pull that off?
A Freak of Freaks choice to take the counter pick first game and third game, I believe. And then C9 picked the second one. I'm not sure how they do the picks, but I'm pretty sure I heard the caster say a Freak of Freaks took blue side or red side first game, which for that counter pick, which, like I said, they did not get the proper counter pick in that, because the Victor was playing against an Aatrox. Good matchup theoretically. Aatrox, though the Victor did not do everything he needed to get ahead. He did sort of keep the Aatrox under control until the team fights broke out. Anyways, moving on to game 2, a Freak of Freaks was dominating. There was a point in that game, though, where I was sitting on here with B. Clark and another friend of ours in Discord talking and just watching the game together. And there was a point where I believe 3 C9 members went down. A Freaka turns onto the Baron, and it was almost like just the nail on the coffin for C9 in that game. But out of some miracle, I believe it was Licorice and Jensen, I want to say, were up. They snuck in. They took a team fight to a Freak of Freaks in the Baron pit, and not only won the team fight, but got the Baron without a jungler smite. They did take out the jungler first for a Freak of Freaks, so it was both smiteless. Yeah. But you got to go back and watch the highlight on this one. Anybody who didn't see this needs to, because they go into the pit 2v4, 2v5, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And they just melt the health bars of everybody on a Freak of Freaks. Take the Baron, huge turnaround. And you can just watch Cloud9 the rest of the game, step by step. Every time they have an opportunity to come back from a disadvantage, they do. They trade turret for turret. They trade kill for kill. They do everything they need to do to take the lead, come back in that game, and win. And it was a true sign of a team playing from behind and doing it well. Something that you don't see in solo queue, you don't see very often playing at a lower level. It's something even at a pro level you don't see very often. It was proof to me that C9 not only has what it takes to be competing at the world stage, but it has what it takes to potentially complete my bracket run and make them win the tournament. Honestly, we'll get into the matchups for this upcoming matchups, but I think that though they have one of the harder matchups, they definitely have a chance of moving on with what they showed. Touching on game 3 really quick, maybe the least exciting game in some ways, just by watching it, though it was most exciting because it was game 3. C9 and a Freak of Freaks went head to head, back and forth, blow for blow, right? 1 for 1. Everywhere they went, they traded. It was the most even game we'd seen all series. And Cloud9, we saw them the game before come back from behind. So if they're not behind now, they're even. They're just going to roll over, keep snowballing that game until they get the victory. So they 3-0'd a Freak of Freaks, making it the first year in 6 years, I believe, 7 years maybe, that an NA team has made it to the semifinals of Worlds. Wow. And a Korean team has not. That shows, if anything, a shift in how the teams are matching up on a global scale. And it's something that should excite all of us NA people, that Cloud9 went from a 10th place team in the summer split to a top 4 team in the world. It's got to excite everybody.
I mean, I agree that, it's very nice to see, like, unfortunately we had C9 and our pick'ems go to semis, so somehow that worked out. But I mean, do you really think it's a shift of power, or these teams just had kind of off nights and the NA and the other teams just showed up? I mean, can you really say it's a shift right now just off of a couple game performance?
I guess I might be a little preemptive. I don't want to say like we're the powerhouse now, like for NA and every. But it shows that we can compete. Okay. Like we were sort of the laughing stock. If like I like to compare, if you were to rank sort of the major regions, sort of the regions that sort of get a automatic place into Worlds, being NA, EU, LMS, LCK, all that, into sort of like the divisions of League, we're definitely ranked in like bronze or silver. Like we're the lowest ones.
I agree with that.
The fact that we can sort of beat what you would consider to be a challenger or a platinum, one of the top tier teams, the team that plays with all the other best teams in the world in the LCK, the fact that C9 can come out and 3-0 them, but not only do that, but come out of a group of death while also going through a play-in stage, just shows that this team's got what it takes. This team is in sync and they're together. They are probably the most threatening team in this tournament as far as expectations go going into the tournament, if that makes sense.
That's okay. I can live with that. That's definitely fair for sure.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're better than the other 3 teams in the tournament. I mean, I definitely think G2's been really surprising with their playthrough and how well they've played. True. But C9 going in as a team that did look strong coming out of NA, but didn't looked like everybody thought Team Liquid would do well. Everybody thought Team Liquid would be the top NA team, which they didn't do terrible, but they didn't have the best showing that they wanted to have. So having seen C9 almost place first against a team like RNG, and almost going out of that bracket in first place, like that's exciting. And now seeing them 3-0 a team, it just gives me the confidence to say they're going to be in the finals. They're going to beat Fnatic. They're gonna move on. They're gonna play Invictus or G2, whoever wins that matchup. And if they're in the no matter who they play at this point, I could see them winning. There's not a scenario where I'm like, oh, C9's such an underdog that I don't think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna get 3-0. I see them taking a match off of whoever they play from here on out. If they lose to Fnatic, I say it's gonna be 3-1, 3-2. They'll take a match. They have sort of a mixed bag of tricks to go from, and if they keep playing solid, then who knows? We could have an NA winner this year. We could have an NA second place. It'd be nice to see NA up there and maybe just not double EU final.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be kind of not the worst, but definitely the hardest.
Yeah, it'd be the hardest to watch as an NA fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with us being so close.
Like to be in the semis now and then just I don't really want to even think about two EUs in the finals, but
we just got to root for Invictus. Keep rooting for Invictus.
Yep, exactly. And hope they can slow down G2's kind of tear right now, and
because they are on a tear.
Yeah,
they're going off right now. Like both EU teams are doing really well. That's what scares me. Is we could have an EU final.
It's very possible.
Which I mean, 3 of the 4 teams are Western Hemisphere teams. Which if we're silver, EU's gold. Like they're only slightly above us.
Yeah,
it's not.
Exactly.
There's not that much.
It's
which we all know. Difference between silver and gold. It's not very much.
No.
It's the teammates you get on your team. I'm just kidding. I'm just going off my own personal rant at this point. Anyways, but yeah, it'll be interesting to watch those games. I think I did say that they were coming up on the 27th and 28th. If I'm correct.
27th and 28th.
Yeah, 27th and 28th.
This coming weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be very exciting to watch. Sunday night, 1 a.m. or technically Sunday morning at 1 a.m. I should say. Cloud9 Fnatic. Tune in, everybody. I think the viewership was up to like 400,000 for a 9 o'clock game last time. So that was very impressive to see.
That's really good.
If NA makes it to the finals, I'm really stoked to see those numbers on Twitch, how high they go, because guys win it.
It'll be if C9 really does make the finals, it'll be very interesting to see what kind of viewership they end up pulling. Because do you think the Korean countries would watch? I mean, I guess it is in 100%. South Korea. Yeah,
100%. They will watch just because it is League of Legends.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch too much on if they're salty or not, because I'm sure they are a little bit.
Yeah.
SKT wasn't even in this world, so that's gonna give you some salt. Though they didn't have a great showing this year. But I would definitely say at this point, you're watching it's just like me in other years. I don't care who's in the finals in previous years. Most years it's usually China versus Korea, Korea versus Korea. And I watch it anyways. If you remember that first time we watched a League World Championship, we were sitting at our local high school stadium.
Yep. I do
watching a football game or something, and we were blown away by there being 400,000 people watching this game. And I mean, that's what inspired me to start really getting it, grinding League and getting is how many people I saw watching this game. So I think it's regardless of who's playing in the finals, we will get high viewership counts. The reason I say specifically NA or even a double EU finals would spike the viewership on Twitch is because most of the NA or most of the Korean and Chinese viewers, as far as I understand, they watch on a different site where it's streamed in their language. I know Riot's, when they stream on Twitch, it is English, and then they have a Riot Brazil channel, I think, that it does it in Spanish as well. So the numbers we're seeing on Twitch are only applying to Twitch numbers. There's still YouTube. There's still I think it's a Zubu they use, something like that, that they stream their stuff on. So there's still other sites that stream the World Championships and that get hundreds of thousands, if not more than that, viewers. for World Finals and other big events for gaming. So you sort of got to balance it. Like if Twitch does hit like 600,000, let's say, I could imagine there being 1 million watching on between the Chinese and the Korean networks, just because there's that many people there that love it and watch it, and it's so much more passionate in their culture that regardless of who's playing in it, I think they'll be watching. Especially since it's in the middle of the day for them. Like it's like you said, it's in Korea, it's in their time zone. They don't have to stay up till 1 a.m. like we do.
True.
And it's going to be everywhere. I mean, it's the League of Legends World Championship. It's going to be everywhere. Like every screen they walk by, I imagine it's going to have something to do with it.
Yeah.
In their society and their culture, from what I understand.
Yeah. No, I mean that makes sense for sure.
Super exciting stuff though.
Yeah, a lot going on in the league community right now that I did not expect going in to these just world championships, and like you said, it's just definitely exciting to watch, and you know, hopefully C9 can pull off the win this weekend and make to the finals. I mean, before we really go into our final topic, is there any kind of last thing you want to touch on real quick?
Nothing that comes to mind immediately. I think just the biggest thing is just make sure you tune in, or at least tune in for the rebroadcast. Just check it out when it's playing. Give Riot the views, because every little view helps them. They climb up just a little bit more with the viewership, and the bigger that the more viewing that games get, not just League of Legends but all games, is one step closer that we get to really drawing the attention of mainstream media, of the news channels and the sports channels. Those, as soon as we can break into that, as soon as we can draw their attention and really show them, hey, this is a big thing that we care about, then we're gonna start pushing gaming to more of a mainstream thing, especially in America. It needs to get to that point where it's a mainstream thing. That's my opinion. Just anytime you can, tune in, give the views to whatever competition is going on. I turn on ESL for Counter-Strike just to give them the view when I'm sitting here and I have nothing else to watch, because I want to promote everything we can, trying to get esports as a culture more defined into the NA society. So that'd be my last topic on that.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. You're exactly right. More viewers, more, you know, more proof to these bigger companies that us as just people are really into it. It's going to eventually get to the point where esports is a real thing, and it'll be a constant thing on ESPN. ESPN will eventually have to cater to the audience and have esports consistently on their channel.
Most definitely. I mean, my argument is, why don't we have a Microsoft team yet? That's what I want to say. They have a Samsung Galaxy, or they did have Samsung Galaxy. Why don't we have Microsoft Galaxy or Microsoft Surface or whatever they have? I don't know what they have, but that's my point. It's like we need these bigger American companies to sort of notice it and get involved.
For sure.
So
I like it. I like how we're wrapping up the league talk. Well, big news. Well, not really big news, but news out of the Call of Duty scene is we recently just got a pretty big patch that did a couple things. I would kind of think the biggest one is getting that black market into the game with, you know, kind of an incentive now to continue to play, continue leveling up, and get some cool cosmetic things. And fortunately, as of right now, you can't buy, which I'm sure microtransactions will be introduced into the game. It's
Activision, so of course it will be.
It's going to happen, but currently you can just play and rank up those battle, or I don't know what they call it, the black market tiers. But there are some things that they did not fix that they really need to. Let's start with multiplayer, as I feel like that's the one that kind of has the not as much to talk about, I guess. Is there anything multiplayer wise that you noticed or saw, or just something you kind of want to bring up and would like to see a change going forward?
I do. I definitely think multiplayer, I don't want to say was sort of forgotten about in this patch. It just seems like this was definitely a quality of life patch, making the game run smoother and everything, which is a-okay. In my opinion, that's perfect. Treyarch, you're aiming at the things to make the game run better. That's great. But the next patch, we need to see some gun balances. We need to see the ICR nerfed a little bit. We need to see that not gunning kids. When I'm in a gunfight with a sub, trying to get my headshots for my gold camo, and I lose to an ICR at point blank range, and he's hip firing, and I watch the kill cam and I see him hip fire, that can't be a thing. The ICR just needs to be changed a little bit. Now, with that being said, it doesn't need to be nerfed into the ground. They have a tendency of doing this to guns. Just if it's overpowered, hey, let's just nerf it into the ground, call it good. They can't do that to it. I personally don't like it. I think it's a really boring rifle. I think it just shoots straight, especially with that grip 2 on. Just some kind of change needs to come in there. With that, the subs maybe a little bit of a buff. The tricky thing about subs is I feel like because the ISR is so overpowered, the other ARs aren't getting a fair look at. Like they aren't getting treated fairly compared to subs. Where I do think it's times where like a Vapor, a gun that is an AR, classified as an AR, and does feel like an AR when you shoot it. It does run a little bit more like a sub when you're playing it. You put double stock on that. You can go drop shot. You can jump shot. You have opportunities with that gun to play it a little bit more like a sub. And so when I get outshot at a close distance, when I'm using a sub and they're using a Vapor, it does worry me that if the ICR gets nerfed a little bit, maybe the Vapor or the Maddox or something like that is going to step in and just take its place. But at the same time, I look at them and I go, the SOG is pretty powerful. It's pretty good submachine gun.
Bad. Not bad.
I don't want to see it get buffed and then all of a sudden people are complaining about it and then it get nerfed into the ground. I like the gun. I think it's decent. The only complaint I have is it's one of those guns that just feels like you shoot it and you have to reload. I feel like I can take especially with how long it is to kill people in this game. I feel like those extra bolts it takes to kill somebody, or even if a gunfight goes on a little bit longer and let's say they get one heal off and now you got to put a whole bunch more bolts into them to weaken their health again, you run out of ammo so quick with that gun. I feel like that just, not that it needs to be tweaked at all, but maybe it's something that just needs to be thought like, hey, can we, I know it does have fast megs, so it's a tricky one for me because someone can just put fast megs on it, reload. But I would like if they had an extended megs option or even just like a couple extra bullets in the clip. Probably not going to happen, but it's one of those ones that a little bit bothers me with how fast it is. And even some of my other friends that I've been playing GBs with have been running that gun almost every round in GBs, and they complain. It's one of those things where I shoot someone, I have to duck behind a wall, reload over healing because I don't have any bolts in my clip. And maybe take a look at it, probably not going to. But yeah, no, with that, I think the only other thing that really bothers me is that they haven't come up with a rule set. Yeah. I know people are complaining about it being like a week into the game, no rule set. We got like, a month and a half until Vegas.
It's like first week of December, I think.
Yeah, so we got like a month and a half, maybe at most, for Vegas, and we still don't have a rule set. No pros are screaming anything respawn because they don't know where to start. They don't know if there's going to be a respawn delay in hardpoint this year because of how many people. They don't know what maps are even going to be hardpoint. With 14 maps, you can't decide. Like, there's so much going on there that just sort of frustrates the players at that level. And also us playing GBs, I don't like playing GB variant rules. And so when I have to play those over CWL rules, it bothers me a little bit. Especially when you have concussions banned because how OP they are. That kind of stuff, it does pick away. Like, the only equipment you can run now is frags.
Yeah.
I do think I hear a lot of pros complaining about, which is something I want you to touch on. I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but how you only get your equipment every once in a while. It's a very strategic choice to use your equipment.
Right.
So someone, let's say, running trophy system, they could hold on to that trophy system all game for round 11, throw it down, and nobody uses a nade. They could use it right when they get it. Nobody uses a nade. Then they use a nade next round to kill them. There's a lot of pros have been complaining about that. They want it to be a fixed thing. So you get it every round. You get it every other round. They just want some kind of consistency there so you know when to use it. I personally like that there's some strategy in it, but I agree that there needs to be some kind of consistency so it's a little bit easier to play around. What do you think about that? Any thoughts on equipment issues?
I will touch on that in a second. Let me go back to the SOG real quick.
Yeah, please.
I think the annoying thing is it looks and feels a lot like the MSMC. But the fact that, I noticed this too, like just a couple days ago. I'm playing like it is the MSMC, but like you said, the bullets are so fast. The fire rate is so fast that you can't even kill a guy sometimes, and you have to reload. And they definitely got to do something with that because none of the other SMGs are very viable in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't.
the
At least
first
the
the
GK,
MSX,
the MX9 is decent. The
MX9, yeah.
GX5 is decent, but at the end, I just feel like the SOG is a little bit ahead of them currently, and they just aren't. It's kind of that odd gun, you could say,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like we've talked about in the past, where Rambo would take out an MP7 or Scump would grab a score. It's one of those two guns are kind of like that, where the SOG is the equivalent to the MSMC, and it's just it's annoying that it is just the fire rate is so fast, and you do feel like you have to reload every time you shoot.
Oh yeah. It doesn't have much range either.
No, it
Which
doesn't.
is sort of surprising. Is like, yeah, you can't. It takes too many bullets to kill at range.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has long barrel as an extension on it. I don't think it.
I don't think
does.
it does. I feel like that would be one of the ones you would run for sure on it, and I don't think it does.
Because right now I run quick draw grip. Grip
Yeah.
is immensely helpful on that gun.
Yeah.
It makes it so much better. But I still can't kill it. This takes so many bullets.
Yeah. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the SOG. But about the equipment thing is, I guess it was a halfway through last week, and I saw some class setups from Crimsix and Apathy, and just kind of seeing what they're running to get kind of a better idea of, like, am I running the things I should be, or are my classes this messed up where it's just not even a smart thing to do. And both of them just don't even use the equipment. They because, like you said, it's so inconsistent. You don't know when you're going to get it again, or you don't know when you're going to get to start, or it's just very inconsistent. And both of them, at least the one from the videos I saw, just basically like, at the end of the day, I'd rather have that guaranteed perk or that guaranteed attachment compared to maybe getting my grenade or maybe getting my trophy system. It's just like, I don't know what they do. I mean, because I think it's dumb to not have nades in the game. That's such a big part of Call of Duty, but I don't know how you would really fix it in a game where I don't really know. Is there a setting that's like you consistently have it, or I haven't really messed around with the game settings a lot, so I don't really know.
Well, I can tell you, after doing GBs, they've been really proactive on hot fixing little things in GBs, like adding options for you to turn off third-person gestures, options for what was the other one that they quick fixed? I forget, but they've been doing that, where they've added options in specifically in the settings, as far as I understand, to counteract the things that we are seeing early on that we've really disliked. So that's something I could see them switch, where they allow you to turn on consistent grenades or whatever.
You just have an option to have it like maybe every 2 seconds or something, reloading or whatever the case is.
My problem with it is that with something like, I have a couple things sort of to work around here, but the first one is with there being like specialist abilities. I feel like, how do I put this properly? I feel like stuff like the 9-bang, which obviously OP, everybody thinks so, but the 9-bang, which is basically just a concussion and a flash combined.
Right.
A cluster grenade, which basically just a semtex and a frag, or semtex and like 8 frags combined.
Yeah.
Those kind of things are so much more powerful than a standard nade or a standard concussion, which still is OP. That it's when all those rules are applied in a CWL. I feel like nobody, like you said, nobody will take a grenade over a clustered grenade, or nobody will take a 9, or no, like if someone has the option to play battery over taking a grenade, they'll do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that's sort of also the freedom that you have in the system of a pick 10, where you want that guaranteed point every round. You want that, like you said, a guaranteed perk or attachment, or maybe even just a backup weapon. Every round you have that point, versus 1 in 3 rounds you have that nade, or 1 in 4 rounds. Something I've been doing in GBs. Don't quote me on this because I don't know how well this actually works. But what I've been doing is I've been running a class without any kind of lethal on at all. Normally it's like my ICR class will run just like 3 attachments, a couple perks, my ICR with a sight on it, call it good. And then when I notice that my bar is building, I will switch to my SOG class or something, which does have a designated grenade on that. So when I go into that next round, all of a sudden I went from a cluster grenade to a grenade ready. Now I can use that.
So it
like
doesn't,
I said, I don't,
when you switch
I don't
classes,
know.
it doesn't
That's
reset?
I don't know if it does reset. I don't know if it resets upon death, if it resets upon rounds. Something I've just been noticing while I'm playing is I'll go from an ICR, which I'm like, oh my god, I cannot use this cluster nade on battery, to next round I have a nade available on this new class I picked up. So it's something that I've been looking into, and I've been like, okay, let's switch over to the SOG here, and I have a nade ready now, so I can pre-nade B on this flank or whatever. So that's what I've been trying to do, sort of balancing, like, this is the round to pull out my SOG, do a rush with this not concussion obviously because it's banned, but like do a rush with this frag and call it good.
Interesting.
So that's been something I've been sort of diving into, and other people, if you know anything more about that, leave it in the comments, or tweet one of us. Finding our links are in the description.
Yep.
But that's something that I've been sort of aiming at and trying to do, and I'd like to actually put into theory and test it at some point, which I imagine wouldn't be that difficult, but I just haven't paid that much attention while I'm in the GB. My mind's at 100 different things. So.
Right, for sure. But
I definitely think it's something that we need to look at and figure out what we're going to do with equipment. In Respawn, I don't think it's that big of a problem. I think in Respawn...
No, Respawn, you could... Yeah, I agree.
Because as far as I understand, it's not necessarily a time-based thing, though time has to do with it. It also has to do with how well you're playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually true or not, because I know each sort of ultimate, I think, has like a different timer on it. Each specialist ability has a different timer. So it's one of those things that I haven't looked into the stats of yet. And I haven't really seen the videos going live on YouTube yet of all the people that like do those test videos to see. But I think it's definitely something that in Respawn shouldn't be too much of a problem, getting your nade every once in a while versus having it every time you spawn.
Right.
But I do think there's that issue of, I'm using this class, I'm losing a point when I spawn up in this round of S&D because I don't have a grenade. Is that at this moment, that's sort of something you as a player have to fix until we sort of get that CWL rule set to see what actually is going to be the rules for this year's competitive CoD.
Right. I mean, once CWL does finally make their decision, which, I mean, it hopefully comes out this week. It could be next week, but it has to be soon. It's definitely going to make game battles a lot more fun being able to use the real rule set instead of the GB, which is sometimes good and sometimes just very odd.
That's why I never wanted to play GBs. Even going back to like Black Ops 2 when like the first switch came in of here's the standard GB variant rules we've been playing forever. Oh, now there's score streaks and we're adding in these extra grenades and trophies and all this stuff. Like when that switch went over, like I never wanted to look back to GBs because I could not stand that GB variant rule set. I just think it's too bare bones for what Call of Duty is.
Yeah, I mean, at least for what it's turned into. Yeah, I don't.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
GB variant. I don't like CWL. Please hurry up, figure out what you want, and let's get that rule set in place.
Especially with this game where it's so different and so many different abilities going on that if you like, I hate to say, but if you just dumb this down to be another COD, another what I like to say another bad Call of Duty, which I don't think this game could be bad, but if you take away all the stuff that makes this game exciting, the grappling hook, screw the barbed wire, but all the other stuff.
Yeah.
You just got another COD where you run to your head glitch, you wait for the person to come in your sight, you shoot them. There's not going to be that excitement of that grappling hook play where he slides into a room of 4 people and ults them all and deletes them, and oh my gosh, you did a 1v4 because of that. Oh man, there's not going to be those moments with especially with how high the health is with the standard rule set. So.
Yeah, no.
It's just got to be something that they got to come out with soon.
For sure. Let's, we're actually running pretty
long.
Yeah. Again, we thought it'd be short. Again, we go talking.
It's not bad.
It continues.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Blackout real quick. I mean, obviously 9-bang is a big problem in Blackout. I mean, there was a joke on Reddit was, dear Treyarch, once I get 9-banged, please put me into a new game lobby. I thought that was pretty good, but it's also kind of true. You're just waiting for that moment when you get killed and restart. I
will run 9-bangs at every one of my equipment. So I will take my backpack will be full of 9-bangs and concussions because I know if I have one of those and I hit someone, I can just run up to them and punch them. Like there's literally no point in me worrying about if they're going to shoot me or not.
Exactly. Especially if you get that throw it out full max, like when you hit them, it's over. You won the fight.
I have to admit though, I do 9-bang myself a lot when I fully charge it because I hear the first 6 go off and I go running in and then I just get obliterated by my own 9-bang and then they're out of their stun before me and that's a whole other story. That's just me being bad.
But I mean, definitely nine bang is kind of a good and bad. I do like what one of the guys. I didn't realize that you can actually, for your nine bang equipment slot as well as cluster grenades, you can have 2 in 1 slot, which I did not realize. So it could even be just as simple as not being allowing you to have 2 to fix.
That's something that changed after beta. 'Cause in beta, we were allowed like an absurd amount. I think like 6 or something like that, 8 or something. Like we were allowed to stack them for days. You just keep throwing them in a room until someone died to nine bang damage. I mean, seriously, it was bad. But I mean, I don't think nerfing the amount you have will help. Just because, like we said, that one nine bang can go 9 hits. You can throw it in a room, and it doesn't matter. Once you're nine bang once, you're dead. Like,
yeah, true.
Just having that one for a fight ends the fight. I think it needs to come down to two things need to happen. One, the concussion needs to be nerfed, allowing the nine bang to be nerfed, because the nine bang has to be more powerful than concussion when it comes down to it.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah.
So I think the concussion, the biggest thing that pisses me off is I can't go prone. I understand that if my body's stunned, I shouldn't be able to go down, but the fact that I can't do anything except for pull the trigger irritates me. I feel like I need to be able to do something. If it's at least crouching, moving slower. I've never been hit by anything like a real concussion, so I don't know how it affects your body, what the science behind it is.
Yeah.
But I just feel like me being standing still, covering my eyes, and like a little 3-year-old at the store who didn't get what they wanted, it just doesn't make sense to me. In past games, you've at least been able to go prone.
Yeah.
Though I agree with you not being able to, maybe at least going crouched.
Well, I mean,
something.
Yeah, I mean, like in a realistic setting, right? If your body went froze, you would drop to the ground. So why, like, like at least, like, again, I've never been concussed or anything like that, but I mean, at least with when I got tased, which my body locked up and I went to the ground. Like, I would have to imagine like a concussion is kind of like that. I mean, I don't really, like I said, I've never had a concussion grenade thrown at me. I have no idea if it's what it's like, or what the equivalent would be in the real world situation. But I would imagine like you would at least be able to drop instead of just your body gravity would pull you down. I can't imagine that you're just standing up in a straight position.
I definitely think if you make it so that you automatically go down, it gives you a huge disadvantage, especially if you didn't want to crouch in that scenario or you didn't want to go prone. But I do agree there needs to be some form of you moving in some capacity.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
you can't even walk right now, right? Like you're just standing there straight.
You're literally you're literally just game. You're done. You're done as soon as you hit one by one. Like if you look at the people you get hit, they're standing there just frozen. They It's like you're playing on 1 sense. Like you can't do anything. You can't move. You can't look. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. And then the nine bang does exactly that, but adds the fact that you can't see. So your hip fire just doesn't. You'd have no idea where you're shooting.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that just like I feel like you can't nerf the nine bang until you nerf the concussion. And the thing about it for me is like I would say just make it like concussions where people can just go prone. But there's so many times where I throw a concussion in a room, run in, and that dude's prone, and I don't see him, or I don't react fast enough because he is prone. That it just irritates me that someone's able to go prone so quick. I feel like you should still be slower, but you should still have the option to move vertically up and down. If it's at least crouching behind that desk you're behind, at least doing something rather than just standing there like an idiot. I don't know. I don't know what changes they could do. They'd have to look at like how it actually works now versus like what they want it to do in game. But there needs to be a change in there because as soon as you get hit by that nine bang, which is another thing, I don't get hit by any of them. I don't feel like I personally get hit by enough of them. I feel like I'm the one throwing them 90% of the time, and people that have, and I loot them off of people's inventory, and I'm like, if you had this and you threw it at me, you would have won the gunfight. Like there's no reason. So thank you for all those people that don't use them. But maybe you should start and get some extra kills off of it.
True.
The other part of this is tac mask, or in I think it's called armored or reinforced or something like that in Blackout. Do you think that's nearly as strong as it should be? Because I've heard a lot of complaints that it is not even worth running because it doesn't affect tac bangs or doesn't affect nine bangs or concussions anywhere near as much as it should in either mode.
I'll be honest, and this is probably because it doesn't work because I didn't realize Tac Mask was in the game.
Oh,
So
well, it's first slot, right next to Flak Jacket. So you might have to give that a try. But I've taken it off all my classes in pubs now because, and actually to be honest, you don't need a GB's because concussion's banned, but
yeah,
you still get hit by one, and it feels like the effects are maybe shortened a little bit, and that's it. It doesn't feel like you're not getting any more mobility, you're not getting anything. It's just you're getting hit by a concussion that's lasting maybe a second shorter, half a second shorter.
gotcha.
And to be honest, like I said, I don't get hit very often in Blackout with concussions or nades. To know like if the damage or the time is significantly different, but I've heard that it is not. Like people will say, when you pick it up, you might as well just use this perk because it's not worth carrying around with you. It's not worth having for when someone does throw a 9-bang at you or whatever. So
Gotcha.
at this point, I think maybe the answer is just buffing that. And if you don't run those, that's your problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's your choice at the end of the day. Whatever you want to. That's the kind of nice thing about COD is whatever you want to do, like whatever your play style is, you are free and allowed to make those choices and do what you want to do.
Yeah, pick 10's amazing for that.
Yeah.
That's why pick 10 is phenomenal.
When they introduced it, Black Ops 2, a little hesitant when it came out, but looking back, it was the right move to go that route.
And don't do no pick 12 or pick 8 or pick 14. It's pick 10.
Yeah.
Same equipment. It's very basic.
Yeah,
and maybe
exactly.
that is the answer, is with inconsistent in multiplayer, with inconsistent grenades, respawns and stuff like that. Maybe that's why they are so powerful, because you don't get them as often, and they want them to be such an impact maker when you do get them. And if that's the case, then they need to buff up that attack mass just a little bit so that people are able to at least counterplay it. If it's not like right now, if it's not a great throw and it barely hits you, you're still
you still feel
there needs to be some kind of reward for outplaying someone who throws something at you, or for getting a really good throw on somebody. It needs to feel rewarding. Right now, I hit somebody with the attack grenade, or I hit somebody with anything that stuns them or blinds them, anything like that, and I don't get that feeling of accomplishment just because I know it's gonna do its job. I know what it's gonna do, and like that's a good thing to some level. But if I miss my throw and I still get as much, or they're still stunned as much time as they were, then there's something wrong in the system there that needs to be, the Treyarch needs to look over, which hopefully in the next patch they will actually come out with game changes that will allow us to see sort of the direction they want to take the multiplayer guns and stuff.
True, for sure.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the next patch.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, interesting. Hopefully they do some more gameplay stuff instead of just, how you put it, quality of life or game updates. Something, as we're talking about Blackout, though, that I just realized is the first. I mean, we had Code Red tournament last weekend, but Doritos Bowl is the 27th.
Yes, sir. That's this weekend.
Yeah, it's
there's a lot going on this weekend that we probably want to touch in on Thursday. But I know TwitchCon is this weekend. They're having a huge Fortnite tournament. I don't want to say what the number of the prize pool was because I forget, but I want to say it was like something like 70,000 or even high. I think there's like 3 Fortnite matches going on that weekend.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't followed Fortnite in a minute now, but I know there's a huge streamer versus it's like 50 streamers get matched up with 50 random TwitchCon people, and they're put into a match to play it out for some money. So that should be exciting. Yep. I believe Courage is casting that one with,
is it Lupo?
I think it's Lupo again. And then I know they have the, like you said, the Doritos Bowl is that same weekend at TwitchCon, I believe. And then they have another tournament, I think Sunday, for Fortnite. We'll get more information to you on the Thursday episode. Yeah. But there's a lot going down this weekend. Hey, keep an eye out for Thursday and next Monday's episode, because we'll go over all the TwitchCon stuff on Monday's episode. Everything will be in there. Yeah. It's gonna be a huge TwitchCon this year. Huge.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff going on, and lots of fun events to watch. Whether you're a Fortnite fan or a COD fan, there's something for you to watch, and It'll be a fun
And if you're
weekend.
neither,
It'll be a fun weekend.
League of Legends is on that
Yep,
weekend.
you got that too.
Got the whole weekend's cram packed.
Just as an esport fan in general, this weekend is there's a lot
of the year
to cover, and I'm sure our
and
Monday
Red Dead
episode,
releases.
yeah, Red Dead comes out. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Which speaking of, I will not be playing any Call of Duty over the weekend.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, just want to let you know right now. I'll be on Red Dead all weekend, but then come Monday, I'll be back into the Call of Duty grind most likely.
Gotcha. Beat the game in a weekend and then back to COD.
And no, I plan on taking the Red Dead game quite slow. I rushed through most of my single player games. I literally I think I beat Fallout New Vegas and like I went and killed house and everything you can do and a couple hours in my play. Like I rushed through main stories of the games way too fast. So I'm trying to play this one slower. I want to actually see the world and explore it. I have a whole bunch of stuff set up for the Red Dead. I wish I could get some gameplay out. I've been debating on a capture card or not.
Man,
I really feel like the PS Pro is more important than the capture card, but
just think about all the content you could do with a capture card.
It's very true. There's a lot of content, and especially if I want to start putting out series, I have to really debate if I want to get a capture card or not. So yeah, it's one of those things on my list. I'm sort of debating right now what I want to do with that, but we'll see. We'll see what I decide. Definitely will be a decision I'll be making by this weekend.
I like it. I mean, we'll find out soon. Again, I think this episode is over an hour now. I don't know how we do it, but we do it every time. I mean, I'm at least all tapped out for this week, or at least this episode. Let's just last thing. If you got anything else you want to cover or that you want to touch on. Oh, you ran away.
I got one more thing.
Oh, he's got one more thing.
My last thoughts.
Thoughts.
Super quick, just mini unboxing video. I got these the other day.
Oh.
These are the Supra combined with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 for a shoe. I just want to show you really quick what the shoe looks like. I ordered these offline and I went with 12. I'm normally a 12 and a half, so I was a little skeptical. I don't like my toes to be crammed.
Yeah, that's never
But when they got here, they fit perfectly. And look at these beauties.
Dang.
Look at those. Call of Duty
nice.
right there. Nice little logo on the bottom. I have not even worn these outside yet because I'm scared to scuff them in any way, shape, or form. But they do have sweatshirts and T-shirts on their site still.
Yep.
I would recommend at least going to look at it because this is a phenomenal looking shoe. And I have a friend who already is looking to buy a different color because I will not let him buy the same shoe. But he wants to buy one of these because they are beautiful looking shoes that fit really well and are really well made. I will definitely update you guys on when I actually wear them outside for the first time. But I don't dare do that yet. Look at. I do wear them while I play Blackout though, if that helps you at all. I just toss them on and it's like being in your Jordans for basketball. Just like
same thing.
I'm in my Supras. I'm ready to play some COD, you know?
Yeah. It makes sense to me.
That's all I got to say though. Go check them out. Super Call of Duty teamed up to make some really cool apparel.
Great. To finish off the episode, I'm just going to plug our stuff once again real quick. As you can see, if you're on the video, it's obvious. Twitter and Instagram are both there. We have our user handles there. They're also down in the description with a direct link. If you don't feel like searching it, that is fine. If you're lazy, just hit the direct link. Hit the follow for EShot Nation as well. We post every time we post a video or we post a roster change or a
go live
clip, anything. It's on the Instagram and Twitter, so make sure to follow that. And then our personal things below. On Thursday, I do have an announcement that I will announce in that episode. That's pretty cool and intriguing. So make sure to watch Thursday's episode. With that said, guys, this is EShot Nation episode 6. We appreciate you all for watching, hanging out with us, and we will see you in the next video.
Peace.